Are you worried your relationship isn't where it should be or heading to the end? If you're wondering that this isn't the long-lasting relationship that you always thought it could be.
This is why we put together this video, 7 red flags that you need to look out for in your relationships.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mia.
And my name is Charlie, and we run this channel posting weekly videos on all things mindset, lifestyle, and personal development. So if you like this style of content, hit that subscribe button.
All relationships have their ups and downs, and some require work at some times. However, what happens when it's more work than play?
The harsh truth is, most people are in a relationship that they're just simply willing to put up with, rather than putting in the work to make their relationship great. Like, people get complacent and then cracks start to show and they start to fall out of love with each other. These are the 7 signs that you need to look out for in your relationship if you want one that's thriving.
Red flag number 1 that you're needing to look out for is when you start not trusting them and start second guessing everything that they're doing and saying to you. In order to have a great relationship, you need to have trust. Trust is the foundation of any relationship. And once that trust starts to become broken, it's just the tip of the iceberg for the rest of the relationship to start falling apart. So it's super important to have that great foundation and building that trust continuously every single day.
Trust is super important because unconsciously, if you do something that breaks that other person's trust, then they start second guessing every single thing you do. So even the little things, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're lying about the smallest little things, your partner will unconsciously know that you're possibly lying about other things in the relationship. So make sure you're congruent, make sure that trust is throughout your relationship in every single little bit. Red flag number 2, you feel like you can't be yourself around them. We see it all too often. I'm sure you know people that get into relationships 3 months down the line and they break up. Why is that? It's because their true self starts to come out after 3 months. You can only hide your true self for so long. And if you feel like you're feeling like you have to pretend to be someone else in order to receive love from your partner, then it's a sure sign that you aren't supposed to be together in the long term, even though it might feel good in the short term.
And red flag number 3 is you dread spending time with them more often than not. Now, relationships can become stressful at times, however, they shouldn't be the source of the stress, when you should actually be teammates for each other to help relieve the stress. It's a clear sign when you don't look forward to seeing them anymore, especially at the beginning of the relationship when you used to get so excited to have that text message or to go and visit them. However, throughout the relationship, you start to dread spending that time with them and you're actually coming up with excuses and reasons not to actually go and see them, where you'd rather go and spend time with other people instead.
Part number 4, there are too many arguments that aren't getting resolved. Now, some say arguments are a normal part of relationships, where I see it as that's something that hasn't been communicated earlier in the relationship. So many relationships, like the quality comes down to your ability to communicate your desires. So if you haven't communicated your desires earlier in the relationship, that's up to you. Because arguments are usually caused when your expectations don't get met. But if you haven't communicated your expectations, how is the other partner supposed to know?
Arguments are not ideal in relationships. However, discussions are, and it's so important that you're having that conversation with your significant other and making sure you're not sweeping anything under the rug. We've put together a video of a relationship check-in on different steps you can follow to make sure that each week you're doing proper check-ins and keeping that communication strong within your relationship.
The communication is so important because when something does annoy you in your relationship, it's important that you bring it up to the other person, because the other person might be totally unaware that that thing actually annoys you, but you might be really pissed off. So if you don't tell them, that's on you, not on them.
Red flag number 5 is that you start becoming complacent with your significant other. This is where you start checking your phone more often than not. You wake up in the morning and the first thing you do, instead of rolling over and saying good morning to your partner, you go straight onto your phone or you leave the house and do your own thing.
This is so important because everything you do communicates with your partner. 70% of communication is non-verbal, so your actions speak way louder than your words. So if you wake up in the morning and check your phone first thing, that shows to them that your phone is more important than them. So if you wake up and actually communicate with them, say good morning, say you love them, that shows them that you love them more than you checking your phone and then saying you love them afterwards.
It only takes 5 seconds to do this in the morning, and that just shows your partner straight away that you care for them and that you're there for them, which helps build that trust in the relationship and helps set the tone for the day. And doing this every single day is going to prevent arguments down the track of your partner feeling unloved or unheard.
Red flag number 6 is the intimacy drops significantly. So you stop kissing each other, you stop holding hands in public, and you stop having sex. This is such an obvious sign in a relationship because it's really measurable. Like, how often are you having sex? Is it how often you want to have sex? And often, most of the time, it comes down to lack of priority and organization. If you don't make time for your partner, if you don't intentionally set out evenings where you're undistracted, you're without your phones, and it won't actually happen, and they can go on for like days and weeks and months, and you realize, oh fuck, I haven't been having sex. Like, the intimacy drops if you don't intentionally set out time to have that intimacy.
And the biggest tip I could give you is that intimacy starts in the morning. It's not you ignore each other all day and then come together at nighttime and be like, let's do this. It's waking up in the morning and showing your partner their love language throughout the whole day. So when it comes to the nighttime, your partner is already feeling loved and appreciated, and you already have that connection with each other that you're coming together to be able to celebrate and like enjoy your intimacy and love together. It's not being completely cold to each other, acting like the other person doesn't exist, having those arguments throughout the day and couldn't care less about them, and then getting into bed together that night. So it's all those little things that add up together. And red flag number 7, which is the most important, is that you can't see a future with them. It's like, why are you with a, oh, I'm getting really angry. Why are you with them? If you visualize your future and you have your goals and you have all your ambitions and you don't see your current significant other right there next to you supporting you, that's a massive red flag.
And this is definitely something that can be fixed. If you currently can't see a future with them, it might be because your relationship right now doesn't excite you that much. If you look into the future and see the best version of yourself, what does your health look like? What does your mindset? What does your wealth look like? And what does your relationship look like? And if it doesn't show them in the future with you, then something needs to change in the moment. Because if you can't see a future together, why waste your time with them right now? So if you want a great relationship in your future, make sure you have a great relationship today. So make plans together, set goals together. If you're setting goals for your futures together, then that gives you so much confidence in the present that you're going to be with this person. You can go all in and commit to the person you're with. If you set out 1 year, 5 year, 10-year plans together, then you're going to be so committed to each other, and it's really going to show in your relationship.
If you're not happy currently in your relationship, look back and remember when you were happy in the relationship, and what were you doing to help contribute to that happiness? What were you doing for your significant other? Were you organizing weekly dates? Were you organizing catch up with friends, with a group of friends? Were you also sending them like love letters or little notes or those touch of affection throughout the day? It's all those little things that add up. And if you're not happy currently in your life or where your relationship is, it's time for you to take accountability, because you're exactly where you are today because of all your past decisions you've decided to make. So if you're not happy with where you are now, start making that choice to change your decisions, change your behavior, and live the life you're wanting to live.
So if your relationship isn't as great as you want it to be, and you don't actually see a future together, and you might not even want to be together, but you're just staying together because you're worried that it'll hurt when you break up, and you can't imagine building that connection again with someone else. Like, you spent so much time with this person that you can't imagine building it up again. But why settle for ordinary when you can have amazing? You have to step into the uncertainty of becoming single again, of finding the right person for you, rather than settling for what you have.
So let's recap. 7 red flags that you need to keep an eye out for in your relationship. Red flag number 1, you stop believing and trusting in them. Red flag number 2, you don't feel like you can be yourself around them. Red flag number 3 is that you start dreading spending time with them more often than not. Number 4, too many arguments are not being resolved. Number 5, you start becoming complacent with them. Number 6, the intimacy drops. Pretty much you stop having sex. And lastly, number 7 is that you can't imagine them in your future.
If you recognize these signs in your relationship, it might be time to move on. Recognize your feelings and ask, what is the best decision moving forward? Am I just staying with this person because of how much time, money, and energy I've already invested, rather than what's going to be best for me moving forward? And also recognizing that most can be fixed. If you put effort into your relationship, it can turn around. If you were once happy in your relationship, if you had a honeymoon phase, it's so easy to get back to that honeymoon phase if you actually put some effort in. With the right coaching, with the right advice, with the right action. Take this action, make the relationship the best it can be, and watch your life 10x.
If you like this style of content, please give us a big like and subscribe to our channel. And if you're really wanting to make a change in your relationship, you need to go watch our relationship check-in video. It'll be the next one on the screen. We post weekly videos all about mindset, lifestyle, and personal development. So if you aren't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button or share it with your friends, because we'd love to get our message out there even more.